Self-service BI. What is self-service BI? Well, self-service BI is when users can take care of their own reporting needs anytime, anywhere, without calling for an expert. Typically in this market, Sage 100 products, when a user needs a new report or a modified report, typically they have to call an expert and wait until the expert has time to take care of their needs. So that's not self-service. That means it's an expert-centric solution. Our solution is user-centric. Users with little training, they'll be able to build reports, slice and dice reports, take care of their own needs without calling for someone else. And that's pretty much drives liberation. Liberations for everyone. With DataSelf Analytics, business users will be able to use their desktop, web, and mobile devices in any time, anywhere. They'll be able to find information that they will need to answer their questions. They won't need to call an expert. They won't need to call IT or the accounting department to address those questions. So they become liberated. On the other hand, people who usually are building reports today, let's say IT or accounting, they'll be liberated to do other things because now end users can take care of their own reporting needs by themselves. So everyone is liberated. And that's what we're going to be talking about here today, is self-service BI using DataSelf Analytics. My name is Johnny Girardi. I'm the founder and CEO of DataSelf. So let's jump right into the product to take a look at how easy to use this solution is. I'm going to start showing the product, showing a sales example, how to build a report or a few reports using sales information, because it's usually easy for anyone to relate to. This solution is actually designed and is mapped already to the most modules from Sage 100. We have sales order, purchasing, payables, receivables, inventory, GL. So there's a lot of modules already mapped. But my presentation is going to focus on like sales order kind of information, sales information, customer, product, and so forth. Here on the left, I have what is called the dimensions from a sales standpoint. So I have customer, products, invoice, and so forth. And I have the measure that I can look at my sales, such as sales amount, gross profit, quantity shipped, and so forth. I'm going to build two types of reports here in this presentation. One is going to be like a detail level report showing detailed information. And the second is a dashboard for kind of management standpoint. So I'm going to show both a more tabular approach, like most people are used to, and also more a dashboarding approach. And both are very easy to use. So let's start with the first one. I'm going to build a report showing detailed information about my sales in last quarter. So let me just start dragging and dropping information to show the mechanics. I'm going to take my sales, drag to my report here. This is my total sales in the whole history. I'm going to break down by date. So right now, in my sample database, I have 3 years worth of data. And I see sales by year now. And I can expand by year, go into the quarter level, and expand the quarter, go to the month level, and I can expand, go down to the day level, and so forth. Pretty straightforward. Now, in my example, I just want to focus on data for one quarter, let's say last quarter, which is my last quarter in my sample database. I'm going to drag my date to my filters. And when I do that, I can choose what kind of filter I want to filter my information by. One of the most popular is called the relative date. I'm going to choose that one. And relative date gives me this very user-friendly wizard that I can choose kind of, period level, year, quarter, month, weeks. I'm going to choose quarters in this case. And I can choose this quarter, previous quarter, last 3 quarters, next quarters, and so forth. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to select the previous quarter, which is the last one in my sample database. And I click OK. So now there I have my total sales in the last quarter. Let me just put the dates in my columns instead. Okay, now I want to break this report and see sales by customer, by invoice number, invoice date, and a few more details. Well, everything here is easy and kind of, drag and drop. So if I want to see customer information, I go to the customer list here, I find the customer name, I drag, let's say, to my rows. So there it is, by all my customers, I have the total sales in the third quarter, 2014. Well, what if I want to see the invoice number, each invoice number that I sold to each customer? Well, I go to my invoice details, I get the invoice number, and I drag to my report. So there it is. By customer, I see the invoice number in the total. If I want to see more details, I just keep on adding more fields to this report. So let's say if I want to see invoice date, I'm going to drag the date to my report. So there it is. Maybe I want to put some product information. Everything is drag and drop, like item brand. Item brand would be like a custom field in my database, an user-defined field that is already mapped in this solution. It doesn't matter where it comes from. I just drag and drop. And right there I have item brand. Maybe I want to put, product information. You name it. You just pick and choose any field from your sales-related fields. They're all listed here. And you just drag and drop into the report, and you get the data. Maybe we should also put, quantity shipped. Let's drag quantity shipped to the report. Let's put the measures below my date. There it is. I have in the last quarter, quantity shipped, sales amount for all my customers, all detailed information. So this is just an example of, building a detail level report. It's pretty straightforward. You just need to drag and drop. You do not need to be an expert to do this. With a few hours of, training and poking around, any person who wants to learn will be able to do things like this. Now, the next report that I want to show is a more management level kind of report. It's a kind of a dashboard. In this next dashboard, I want to show 3 pieces of information. One is I want to see sales in number of meetings together by month. I want to break down that information by company. My sample database has a multi-company framework. And then I want to put that information, I also want to put that information on a map showing sales by state and how big my deals are by state. So I'm going to build a new dashboard, and I'm going to create a new sheet here, and I want to see sales. So I'm going to put sales in my report. This is going to be a chart approach. So I see total sales. I'm going to break down by month. So I'm going to put my months in my columns. So there it is. By month, you see sales growing. Now I have a multi-company. I want to split the sales by company. So I'm dragging company to my color. And now for every company, I have a different line that shows sales by month. Now in my sample database, I have sales information coming from my Sage 100, as well as CRM information coming from, CRM system, can be Sage CRM, Sales Logic, and so forth. So in this case, I want to add number of meetings, which comes from the CRM. I'm going to put here. So this is the sales amount, and this is the number of meetings from CRM. And so I don't get confused, I'm going to make the number of meetings as bars. So bars are number of meetings, sales are lines. Okay, that's a good piece of information for my management dashboard. Next, I want to put on a map. And I can use any kind of geography component, like build to information, ship to information. In this case, I'm taking the customer address, I'm taking the state, I'm going to choose the deal size, and I'm going to choose the sales amount. So I'm going to put these 3 pieces of information in a map. I'm going to choose the mapping capabilities here. And right there, I start seeing a map where bigger bubbles are bigger sales, and the slice of each bubble relates to how large the deals are, the accumulation of sales for each one of those kind of deals. And then I want to put the same information on a tabular format. Let's put this showing only numbers, and I only want to show sales by state. Okay, so I just built those three pieces of information, and I want to combine all of them into a single dashboard. So I want to put my state here, sales by state. I want to put at the bottom, let's say, the sales by month, and then on the right here, the sheet showing sales by state. So it took me about a couple of minutes to build from scratch a fairly sophisticated dashboard. And as you can tell, everything is drag and drop. It's really focused on users. This is a kind of self-service technology that allows business people anytime, anywhere, using desktop application like this one, the web interface or mobile devices, to be able to self-service their own reporting needs. Very easy and very straightforward. Let me talk a little bit more about the concepts behind this. So as I mentioned, this is a user-centric approach. And I have here a picture of my mom and my dad. A few months ago, I was in Brazil. By the way, I'm from Brazil. I went to Brazil for her 80th birthday. And my mom, she never used a computer in her life. Before, she would call my siblings to ask help to connect with me, let's say through Skype, to talk, through a computer. But she would never be able to do it. A computer is too complicated. It needs like an expert. Well, last year, I gave her an iPad, which is a user-centric computer. And since she got the iPad, now mom, calls me directly by herself, Skype. She doesn't need any help at all. She does it all by herself. And she's even using Facebook. And why? Well, because an iPad is a user-centric computer. And what we do here, this technology, is a user-centric reporting technology. It's a technology designed for business people. They will be able to take care of their own reporting needs without calling for experts. On average, more than 70% of the reporting needs of the average user, they will be able to take care of those needs by themselves. So it's very liberating, it's very empowering. The other main concept is we've been doing this technology, enterprise-level BI, for Sage 100 for about 14 years. And over the years, we have built a very comprehensive out-of-the-box solution that has more than 5,000 reports, dashboards, and KPIs as a plug-and-play. And as I mentioned, we cover most modules from Sage 100, like financials, payables, receivables, inventory, purchasing, sales order, and so forth. Very comprehensive. Now, I was showing you the desktop client, but many users will be consuming the reports using the web interface. So this is like the web portal that most people would be accessing information from. When they log into this portal, they only see their own reports. So let's say if I'm the CEO, when I log in, they would only show the CEO reports and dashboards. If I'm from sales, I would see the sales team dashboards. Let's say if I go to one of these dashboards here, let me open one of them. I'm going to open the top customer by sales dashboard. It's a sales dashboard. When I open this dashboard, the tool can be configured in a way that it will only give my own information. So if I'm the rep for California, these would be the top customers by sales this year to date in California. The rep in Florida opens the same dashboards and sees top customers in Florida, while the big boss opens the same dashboard and sees the top customers across all territories. So same dashboard, provide information from different people based on their user credentials. Now, out of the box, as I mentioned, we have lots of different reports and KPIs. This is one example of top performers. We have here the customers. Every customer has a bar, bigger sales. The color of the bar is represented by this color. So from from not very profitable all the way to very profitable. And we also have the black dots on this scale here telling profitability. So this report here, once I understand how it works, it will be very easy next time to see what's important. So if in my business, keeping profitability above a certain limit, I could easily tell that some of my top customers are very unprofitable or low profitability, and I may need to work on them to improve our profitability. Anyway, using this kind of graphical representations will make it easier for decision makers to have insights out of the data, so they can more quickly act on information instead of digging through information. Another kind of important reporting we also do is looking at the tip of the growth curve of your major key performance indicators. This is an example. This report is showing the top customers by sales growth since last year to date, as well as the top decline since last year to date. Typically, top growth are being taken care of. Salespeople are working closely with them, maybe not so critical for my analysis. But the clients who are declining the most, maybe there is something wrong, and maybe I can fix it if I act in a timely fashion. So looking at the top sales decline can help you focus on clients who are not very happy. Maybe they're moving away, and you can reverse the trend if you act in a timely fashion. So looking at the top growth and the decline from different key metrics can help you focus in your main initiatives and reverse trends that can be damaging your business. Another kind of interesting analysis here is commissions. If you have a fairly sophisticated commissions schedule, this one shows a very simple framework. I have for my current month, which is September here, days of the month. As I move through the days of the month, my sales are accumulating using this line, and my target is right here. So hopefully by the end of the month, I'll be crossing my sales target. And these bars are the commissions that I'm accumulating throughout the month. Now, if I'm the salesperson, I probably would like to receive this report refreshed every, let's say, Friday night, so I can see how much money I'm accumulating, and if I'm going to be spending some extra money over the weekend, I wanted to know that. So I can come here and click this subscribe button, and I can tell that I want to receive this report refreshed every Friday evening in my email, so I don't have to come here to look at this information on the portal. I just receive an email that has this information, and I subscribe, and that's it. So it's very easy to subscribe to reports and receive them in my inbox. Let me show one more piece of information here that is also kind of interesting. We also have what is called exception reporting, which sometimes can also be very critical. Exception reporting shows you transactions that are no longer happening, and sometimes that can be very critical. In this example, on the sales side, is showing customers who were buying before, but they're no longer buying. In this dashboard shows 4 different time buckets. People who were buying the last 60 days, but not in the last 30 days, or people who are buying the last 6 months, but not in the last 2 months, or maybe in the last 3 years, but not in the last year, or maybe in the last 5 years, but not in the last 2 years. Anyway, looking at customers or transactions that are no longer happening can be critical, and this technology provides many ways that you can build easily these reports and keep track of your major key performance indicators. So that's pretty much what I want to cover today. On the product. How do we accomplish all of this ease of use? Well, this is a very quick explanation. Gartner is one of the most reputable companies doing technology assessment in the Fortune 2000 world. In the last assessment on the BI and analytics, which was done in February 2014, they came to the conclusion that Tableau is the leader when it comes to ease of use in dashboarding in the Fortune 2000 world, and Microsoft is the leader in BI infrastructure also on the Fortune 2000. Well, what about them? What about DataSelf? Well, DataSelf Analytics actually is Tableau Microsoft BI. We add our own technology that eliminates programming from these two enterprise-level BI solutions. And we have added more than 5,000 reports, dashboards, and KPIs for Sage 100. So what you get from DataSelf Analytics is enterprise-level technology that is easy to use, fast to deploy, affordable, and is the best of the breed technology in the Fortune 2000 world. So it's user-centric, fast to deploy. You get expertise from us, and the cost to deploy this is really a fraction that if you try to build it by yourself. So now we're going to open for a Q&A. If you have questions, you can use the GoToWebinar panel. You can write questions and send it to me, and I'll be addressing the next couple of minutes. So let's see if we have questions. So we have a question here from Peter. What Sage 100 versions are supported? Peter, thanks for your question. Let me show you here. If you go to our website, which is dataself.com, and you go to Analytics by Product and choose Sage 100, then here you're going to find information about our solution for Sage 100, including the supported versions. We support all the way down to 3.6, all the way to the latest Sage 100 version. We also have here further information such as the software architecture, ROI, brochure, and this is a link that shows simple KPIs and reports. So if you want to see what's included in the out of the box, you can use that link. Peter, thanks for the question. Another question here from Michael. What is the cost to implement for about 4 seats? There's also another question from Jeff, which is about the same, talking about pricing. Thanks for your questions. One of the good news is about pricing is we are releasing a new pricing schema in the next few days that's going to be make the solution more affordable for most companies, especially the entry-level solution. Right now, because we're changing the pricing schema, I cannot disclose here yet. However, overall, you can buy the solution or you can subscribe on a yearly basis. And the entry-level cost, if you go with a subscription approach, is in the thousands of dollars. So I will be contacting each one of you later, probably in the next couple of days or few days. With the new pricing, we can talk about it, learn more about your needs, and see if there's a good fit. So I'll be getting back to you very shortly about that. Thank you. Well, we're running out of time, so let me wrap up here. If you have any questions, if you want to learn more about the solution, discuss your needs, pricing, you can contact me directly. You have my cell phone here, my email, as well as my Twitter account. I really appreciate your time and interest here today, and I look forward to talking with you again. Thank you, and have a happy Thursday.